Welcome to the Luxine series. This series will have dead times, not so accurate post-production, and a lot of backtracking. This series is meant to be a deep lore analysis and 100% completion of the game. Thanks for your attention. Lasciate ogni speranza, o voi che entrate. Hello guys, welcome back to Dante's Cell. I'm Dante Ojek, and we are again here for an episode of Luxine Mortis Spathium. As you can see, our credits have exponentially got elevated to 400,046, and the inventory is empty because I was doing what is called credit farming using a method that you can find online using the pulse rifle. And so I moved everything there was to move to the storage, and now we are going to pick up every possible piece of plasma ammunition, because we are going, as I said, to that arena room, and we are going to need all of this stuff so that we don't die an horrible death. We are going to leave our plasma rifle and bring back good old force gun, contact beam, sorry. And now we will go on ahead. I also did something else, and that is power up almost everything, if you notice, because now our rig, as you can see, has a lot more stasis, a lot more health, and we are basically indestructible. There's a bench here. I'm going to show you what I mean. Look at this beautiful 100% stats. Well, and on everything but the plasma rifle, with everything available. I also bought every single special upgrade available in the shop. Not too many descriptions wide while in the inventory, so I just took them and put them right into the schematics and upgraded all weapons. But if you want to see what it said, here's a clip of me buying them. And that was it. Now we shall move on. We were told that there are these creatures, these Necromorphs called Wheezers around hydroponics that are contaminating the air, making it unbreathable. And that is a problem for us. We are new to these creatures called Wheezers, but as soon as we meet our first one, we're going to talk about them. For now, let's get to Wheezer number 01. That should be this way. Let's see. And that is the signal that the arena is starting. So let's fight off our Necromorphs pals As you can see, it works quite well. New powered up weapons are doing the goddamn job pretty well. The shooting, precise. The killing is fast. And I want the blade. Please. I'm going to absolutely get mad. So the arena is not that fun. So let's skip all the killing for once. What you say? I'll see you as soon as all Necromorphs have gotten killed. Okay? See you in a bit. Killing has been done. No more Necromorphs are being heard. Hopefully meaning that we are done with those. And now let's pick up whatever is available for us. And let's see if we are lucky. I took some hits. Yes. Nothing too serious, luckily. But let's go on ahead. Because we are probably going to meet our first happy-go-lucky Wheezer right in this room. And as you can see, the gas in the room produced by the Wheezer is clearly a lot. That is a lot of gas. Oxygen gets turned on. And that is a Wheezer. A new Necromorph that we are meeting for the first time. Horrible to see. Sound is magnificent in the remake, like all the sounds. Graphically, scary. And here, there's actually a missable log. Well, wait a second. Let me get outside before I suffocate. There's a missable log. And to get this log, the only thing you need to do is shoot them, like in the original. Okay. So that is the log that is missable. The first time you meet a Wheezer, just shoot them, get the log, then get near and inject them. It's all the delicacy in the world. And that is the first of the Wheezers. And in this remake, the area is pretty much very changed, especially around the Wheezers, because they are supposedly directly connected to the Leviathan that I talked about in the previous episode, that is stored in food storage. But before we go ahead, we killed a Wheezer. So let's go to the fandom and see what we can get. Here it says that the Wheezer is a stationary necromorph unfit for combat. They resemble humans more than any of the other necromorph species, except for their lungs, which are many times the normal size of human lungs and located outside of their body, taking up most of their back. They are constantly in a kneeling position because their arms and legs are fused together, as a result, are incapable of any type of movement. A distinct, strained breathing sound can be heard in the vicinity of a Wheezer, hence the name. They are most likely the terraformers of any necromorph ecosystem. Wheezers are virtually armless. While being in the same room as them drains the player's oxygen, they lack any offensive capability and can be dispatched quickly. In the original, as I said, you shoot them. In fact, all of them can be killed with foot stomps to conserve ammo. They are often alone, and the only true threat is multiple dangerous necromorphs appearing after their deaths. This is almost the first human necromorph that actually existed, because in Dead Space Martyr, the novel that talks about the experience of Altman with the first appearance of a necromorph infection on Earth with the discovery of the black marker, there is a Wheezer that has lungs as big as a building, meaning that the size of a Wheezer's lungs is based on how much he has to change an environment. So if he has to corrupt an entire planet, his lungs basically start to fit the size to produce more spores.
I never asked your name.
Isaac Clarke, systems engineer.
Engineer. Have you seen Jacob Temple?
I haven't, but I'm looking for someone too. Dr. Nicole Brennan.
Dr. Brennan. Doesn't she help people leave unitology?
Yeah, like my mother. That's how we met.
I hope she's okay. The unitologists here didn't like anyone questioning them. And since the captain died, they've all snapped.
Here, Isaac talks a bit more about himself and the fact that Nicole was the therapist that helped his mother leave unitology, but in fact, we know she didn't exactly feel better because the church still got a will.
Hello, security. This is Dr. Cross in hydroponics. Something just hit the hull near food storage. We think it's a rogue asteroid. I have people injured from decompression. We need medics and crowd control right away. Oh my god. What the hell is this? Everyone out of food storage! It's alive! How can it be alive?
Clearance confirmed.
That is an excellent log because it talks about something eating the ship from the outside, from space, and then grabbing hold of the ship, okay, and kind of getting inside of it. So what exactly has happened? We will know when the time is right. For now, the last gun of the game, if I remember right. Yes, the force gun, except for the special one we will get after finishing Impossible Mode. Our last weapon, or tool, is the force gun. And let's immediately see what we can get. A short-range kinetic booster device. Not much. And here, the force energy that is used for the force gun. Ammunition for the force gun. The kinetic accelerator requires a steady supply of energy cells. Let's equip it to see if we get our tutorial saying something more. No, sadly, it seems. Then that means we can go straight to the official EA site and look at what they tell us about the force gun. A kinetic booster device, often used for quickly clearing loose debris or breaking up larger ore deposits. However, due to the graviton acceleration functions, overclocking can cause a dangerous gravitational reaction, causing debris and nearby operators to be pulled in. Basically, they changed the secondary fire of this gun, making it actually a gravity well that can do damage over time to necromorphs that are pulled inside of it. But moving on to some more information provided from the beautiful fans on the wiki. The handheld graviton accelerator, referred to from engineers as force gun, is a short-range kinetic booster device. Its function in mining operation is to provide blasting power beyond conventional explosive charges, thus making it suitable for precise terraforming applications. Some practical examples may include shattering rocks into smaller rocks, sending rocks between miners in zero-gravity situations, or deflecting wayward rocks away from miners during space operations. But how does it work in combat? In combat, the force gun functions much like a shotgun. The primary fire shoots a wide kinetic blast of energy outwards, damaging everything in front of it. The closer an enemy is to the blast, the more dangerous the more damage is caused. Due to its short range, the force gun is only available for close quarter combat. While the force gun's primary fire won't blow many of the tougher enemies to pieces, it will knock them back and away, creating breathing room in tough situations. In the original Dead Space, the alt fire shoots a spherical, low-speed projectile that explodes upon impact with an enemy. And as I was reading, we saw this beautiful gun at work, and you can see how it basically pushes back even a heavy necromorph like a pregnant and just blasts it backwards. It's a great gun, especially for crowd control, because if you equip that and you are surrounded by necromorphs, you can basically blast all of them away from you, giving you room to decide what to do with the situation. Now, most of the time in these episodes that will come out, before we take a break, as I said, we will take a break between chapter 6 and the start of chapter 7, so that we can get a little bit of change from all this Dead Space material. And after we've done that, we will go straight ahead again and just play through the last and remaining 6 chapters all the way ahead without stopping until we are done. Dr. Mercer has one more log on a specific necromorph that we should meet here in Hydroponics, so there shouldn't be a problem about that. And that last necromorph, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's one of my favorite ones because it's very useful if you know how to use him, basically. It's a necromorph that has a lot of use to the player if you are not scared to and are precise with the shooting, making him very useful in crowded rooms. And since you are going to meet him a lot after you meet a necromorph for the first time, as you have seen, there sometimes are less sleepers, sometimes more slashers, and the other way around as well. Let's get rid of the Wheezer before picking up anything. With all the delicacy in the world, Isaac, as always. That is number 2 gone. And as we pick up everything around here, look at how beautiful it is, the ventilation system in the remake. This didn't happen in the original. You can see there are some secrets around also. Credits hidden behind the desk and the text log. Chemical lab report to Dr. Cross. Subject, the organic growth, the corruption that we already talked about. Elizabeth, as requested, I've attached the latest test results for that organic growth we've observed on the ship. I know you're busy, but we really need to run a joint study with Dr. Orwell. This substance is absolutely fascinating. Given its affinity for dead tissue, at first I thought it was some sort of fungus, but the cells most closely resemble bacteria with viral behavior. This organism infects other cells through osmosis, then mutates and reproduces agamogenetically. I can say that better. Agamogenetically. What's most incredible is the speed at which it grows. One of these bacterium reproduces 20-fold in just 1 minute. That's why we haven't been able to pinpoint any specific origin point, I think. It just seemed to be multiple points on the ship all at once. I have never seen anything like it. I won't stake my reputation on it, but I think this may be a genuine alien form. And they are right, actually. Prof. Ole theorizes that it's a habitat transformer. The levels of gaseous discharge are tremendous, which is why it smells so bad. But to what end, we simply don't know. What organisms might exist symbiotically with it? Are they out there? Could they be sentient even? I'll keep you posted. Enrich. Basically, this confirms the fact that this corruption that is at the base of necromorph infestations is a climate changer to make environments suitable for Necromorphs to live in. As I already said, they change the oxygen levels, and the corruptions does exactly that. It turns the area into basically a space available for Necromorphs to not only reproduce faster, but also gives them the necessary biomass, because it absorbs humans and sometimes produce guardians, as we saw. And we have a new power-up available that we will not buy right now. We will buy right when we have a store and a save station near each other, or the bench. So as soon as we are done with this area, we shall go and pick up this power-up. Let's sell a little semiconductor, and let's pick up, let's see, nothing much actually, because we are in the best situation possible after we, or at least I, decided to power up everything available using that money farming technique. And here is our new Necromorph. I am not going to read anything about them yet, because I know there's more of them. Exactly, there they are. They are basically exploding Necromorphs for all the wrong reasons. And we will discover why they have this sack attached to their arm. And they make this awful sound when they move. So, this is the last Necromorph with a Mercer log, actually. Personal log, Dr. Now we know, Charles Mercer. Observation. Invaluable reservoirs of recombinant bacteria. So basically, active necromorphic tissue that we know is what mutates the cells in bodies. But a little volatile, even with stasis observations. One can get too close. And the sac where the bacteria is contained, again, the bacteria of Necromorphs clearly has this this yellow tinge, glow, orange glow in the remake actually, while in the original was a bit more yellow. This orange glow that clearly tells us that is something dangerous. So when you see this orange color on Necromorphs, you know that is live necromorphic substance ready, okay? And sometimes it manifests even in connections and in vital points of Necromorphs. But let's see what the fandom tells us. The fandom tells us that exploders appear to be created from a single human host. The cranium of the host is split open vertically, with the brain cavity being filled with connective tissue that allows the two halves of the head to serve as jaws. The left arm of the creature has become stiff, no longer having any articulation points except for the shoulder. A large pustule filled with a glowing yellow chemical, or necromorph tissue, has developed at the arm's end, making it very heavy and unwieldy. This substance is extremely reactive to blunt force, resulting in a powerful explosion when the force applied on it surpasses a certain threshold. To counter the weight of the left arm, the exploder's right arm and legs have been transformed in a way that moves the creature's center of mass away from the massive pustule, thus allowing the exploder to walk, albeit very clumsily. The right forearm has been extensively modified, with the right hand and foot fused together and extended in order to act as a leg, while the original legs and left foot have become fused and twisted to form a single muscular limb. Although Exploder moves sluggishly in general, they are capable of displaying surprising bursts of speed after they have closed the distance between themselves and their intended targets. Once within striking range, an Exploder will swing its pustule into its victim or the ground, resulting in a deadly explosion for anything caught in the blast radius. They are basically suicide bombers, we saw a similar kind of creature in Dead Space 2, if you have played it. Because in Dead Space 2, we had the bombers, but we also had these little... they were babies, basically. It was babies, necromorphs, literal infants this time. And infants turned in lurkers, these ones, and crawlers. Crawlers were basically babies with their bodies turned into a massive sack containing necromorphic tissue. And so they crawled all the way up to Isaac and then made themselves explode. There is actually a horrible scene because in Dead Space 2 you go through a school that has basically elementary and a nursery school, I think, all in one building. And as you are going through the school, one of the first things you see is this parent teacher arguing and talking to this crawler, telling him, oh yeah, everything will be okay, everything will be okay. And then this thing just goes to her arms and blows himself to bits along with this teacher slash parent. And that is one of the best scenes in the game. Actually, the school is one of my favorite bits of that game, being 100%. And here we have a guardian. Clearly from the sound you could tell. First thing first, take out the pods. Once there's too many pods, you are basically done. It's not a good idea to leave the pods on the floor because they will kill you faster than the Guardian could. Of course, we do know that the Guardian has a secret tentacle with a sight that, if you get too close, will kill you in one strike. It's a one-kill monster, and it is called the Guardian for a reason. It usually is in positions to defend other necromorphs, like in this case, or secrets and treasures. How does the corruption know where to put a guardian to protect treasures and stuff? That is a complete other, let's say, form of discussion that we can't have yet, for the simple fact that we don't know anything about specific things. And as I said multiple times, we need to talk about things when we have all the information available to us. And that is a problem. Leapers are the bane of my existence. I'm never gonna stop saying it. I hate these things. They jump too much. They're hard to shoot because their limbs are all in the wrong place. And as much as I like the fact that their tail basically is a one-shot kill, so if you cut the tail, you are done. But my god, the rest of it is just... ooh, mama. Very hard to hit, very fast, and then impossible. It does quite the damage. It's very, very bad for all of us. Hoping that we don't get ambushed, and there they are. As you can see, they walk kinda clumsily. They are dangerous because explosions in Dead Space always have this buffed damage output for some reasons. I don't know what they were thinking about. Okay, explosions are more dangerous for human beings, but my god, do the explosions in this game, even in the original, just literally blow you to bits. Your health will disappear. Okay? No question, your health is gone. You do something like that, and your health is non-existent. I don't even know if the Anther one-shots you in this game. I actually thought it did. I believe it did.
Isaac, where are you? Help me.
This is beautiful. A beautiful thing. In the original, there were just screens, and you saw Nicole appear on these screens. But here, the entire room goes completely dim in light, and you see the little Nicole screen blurred on your rig, but you can clearly see on every other screen that Nicole is there. It's on all the screens and on your rig. And that is something that maybe shouldn't happen, you know? It's not something that should be available to happen. And here, as you can see, again. No, 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 no. No, you don't. No, you don't. And no, you don't. We have a little problem, especially with these, because the infectors in a room are the worst thing that can possibly happen. Please. Thank you. The force gun is pretty good. The closer you get, the more damage you do. That is beautiful. And the blast sound is just smashing at this point. There's not really much to talk about in Hydroponics. It's one of the longer chapters. It is also one of the, let's say, more diluting. It adds to the game because you need to search for these Wheezers around the entire deck before you can actually move on to do anything else. And that is annoying to some, could be. Nutrition systems is locked, sadly. There's a lot of marker writing actually in these rooms, and some of the words are repetitions, do not mean anything, and we can actually see them more clearly in other rooms. For example, following one of the side missions, you can actually get a lot more information on what is happening rather than staying around and translating all of these. But we shall try and translate some of these. Let's see. Let's start from this one. This writing says, "Live for the church, die for the church." And we can see that is basically unitologists that get infatuated with the marker usually start to write things like these. And unitologists appear to be more, let's say, connected to this marker language more than anybody else. Hydroponics, that was one side, and the other side, we know that is more corrupted.
I looked up Cross's notes on the... Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Kendra?
It's him. 2 doors behind you. Karen. Wait, he's gone. He waved at me, and... sorry, Isaac. Keep going. Just a glitch on the cameras. It looked like my little brother. Stupid, right? That's not possible.
Kendra has just had a vision of someone dead. And what we know is that Mercer told us that Dr. Kine was having a talk with Amelia. But Dr. Mercer also told us that this Amelia was dead and has been dead for 7 years. Meaning that Dr. Kine was talking with a dead person. Basically telling us that most probably the dementia that was on the colony is starting to affect the people around the Ishimura. But we just picked up a rig. Another one. We have 3 now. The Holt's rig is a once infested core or Lieutenant Commander Holt's rig. We don't know what happened to him, while we did know what happened to White since we found that security call that told us exactly what happened. Let's see what is in this side of the room. I already know, I remember, there's a little affair to be had with a strong opponent, that being
Hazardous anomaly detected.
a brute.
Quarantine activated.
And sadly, the corruption on the floor helps him because it slows us down. Let's see where he comes from. There he is. From the back, shoot the leg off, and he's dead. I told you that it was a promise that the impossible run was going to be quite possible. And I like to keep my promises. So now the plasma cutter and every other gun is going to shred everything that is available to bits. Everything is dying. No excuses. Everything is getting killed from this gun. It is strong, best gun. The trophy / achievement to finishing the game with only the plasma cutter, the one gun achievement, is the easiest one. Because the plasma cutter is just a monster once you have it fully upgraded. Another Wheezer down. This is Wheezer 05. So now, as the Leviathan laments the pain he's feeling, let's move on ahead to our next target. And let's see to find a save station. Because we are almost at the end of the episode yet again. And in this episode we had a lot of new things, weapons, 2 new Necromorphs, with one being the Wheezer, even if not a fighting Necromorph, and the other one being the newest addition to the fighting Necromorphs, an Exploder that actually goes around with a fuel tank basically of explosive necromorphic tissue. Here we have a deck systems keycard. Let's see what it's needed for. Let's have a read. A maintenance keycard used to manage the environmental and deck systems in hydroponics. Sadly, we can't reach around here. So we need to go back out and find another way to circle that Wheezer. Let's get rid of these little Necromorphs. And as you can see, the situation on this side of the hydroponics deck is the worst possible. Corruption is quite spread around. We have no way to reach inside that room for now, in fact. So that Wheezer will need to be dealt with in another moment. And for now, let's get the battery and move on to what I remember is the space where a save station should be, if I'm correct. And there shouldn't be any problem in getting to it. So getting here, we turn off gravity. There it goes. Now we can go up, and there they go. Of course there's leapers. They love putting leapers exactly where they should be, and that is 0G. Leapers in 0G are just the worst thing available, and they put them every time they have a chance. Slow-mo cutting off a leaper. Thank you very much to going right into the stasis module. That was the greatest move I've seen. And I can't believe I got hit twice by a lurker. That is absolutely disgusting. While we go on ahead, before we get killed by this Wheezer's gas, another lurker. Let's hand him. Because we are actually reaching the 40 minutes now. And with Leaper gone, thanks to the extreme power of our plasma cutter, there should be a available safe station right around this corner that we should use right now.
This is Liz Cross. Hydroponics. I need to record their names. Hidaka. Holly. Andonov. Mark. So many. I don't know how much gas they took in. I just saw them change. That crack when their lungs burst out like flowers. Jacob. I love you. And I'm so
Exiting
scared
zero
because
gravity.
I know how to kill the Leviathan. So I have to stay. Until it's paid for every single one of them.
And that tells us what happens when a Wheezer is created. You breathe in what I assume is a gaseous form of Necromorph recombinant substance, and your lungs burst out from your back, and then you slowly turn into this kneeling, gas-producing creature, incapable of basically acting in any way, even if conscious of the presence of someone or something. And you start breathing out this gas that makes the Necromorph life prosper. But with that said, thank you, Elgad, for watching again. We are almost at the 20 episodes mark. And I was a bit rusty today with the recording, because I also have a lot of other things to do. But I hope you'll excuse me this time. And as I always say, Elgads, I'll see you all again quando torneremo a guardare le stelle. See you next episode.